So honestly, this is going to be probably one of the most interesting pieces of Dragon Ball news and information about the lore of the universe, of the world, of the characters that I've ever talked about in the 7 years I've been doing YouTube, almost 8. Like, this is really, really big, and it's coming straight from Toribot, aka Akira Toriyama. Now, I want to give a disclaimer, because Akira Toriyama, in case a lot of people don't know, because I'm sure a lot of people that have no idea about the man and never seen any interviews or anything like that, they probably think of him as just this master genius of the combat arts, and you know, he just knows how to make these incredible. The man is a troll. He's hilarious. Like, he's not your average guy that you would think, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a man that he used to write poopy jokes, made a series called Dragon Ball, and literally accidentally fell into becoming one of the most renowned shonen authors of all time. Like, that's literally what happened, pretty much, essentially. So, yeah, take this with, you know, at the end of the day, a lot of times this man, and it really comes across like he just comes up with this shit on the fly. Like, literally at the interview, when they ask him the question, he just pulls it out of his butt. Like, that's what it be feeling like sometimes. But, nevertheless, it's official. If it came from Toriyama, it's official. And we found out who the legendary Super Saiyan in myth. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the guy that, if I'm not mistaken, Vegeta was hyping up about. We found out about him, who he is, and also not only his connection to being a Super Saiyan, but the Super Saiyan God. This is really, really huge in my opinion. Incredible stuff for the Dragon Ball lore. Let's read, and we'll talk some more, but I'm really, really excited. I'm glad Toriyama brought this up, and honestly, as interesting as this is, and again, I'm probably overhyping it, but this is something that I would love to see. Like, you know how they did the Bardock, the father of Goku TV special and the history of Trunks? This needs to be a TV special, but let's read. They asked him, is the legendary Super Saiyan that Frieza was scared of and the Super Saiyan God who was mentioned in Battle of Gods the same person? Now, mind you, this is two things that happened, literally, that Toriyama thought of within, like, what, 10, 20 years of each other? Like, he thought of the original Super Saiyan back in the 90s, and then he thought of the Battle of God, Super Saiyan God, in, like, probably 2011, 2012, when they were planning out the film. So, mind you, Toriyama had no idea about Super Saiyan God at the time that he created Super Saiyan, so this is all him stringing shit together. But here's his answer. In a way, they're indeed the same person. Well, a long time ago, before the Saiyans were living on planet Vegeta, there was a Saiyan with a righteous heart, a man named Yamoshi, who with his 5 friends turned against everyone, and were then cornered by other warriors, resulting in him becoming a Super Saiyan for the first time, which surprised the other Saiyans because the transformation led him to display a terrifying way of battle. After a while, Yamoshi ran out of energy and was defeated after being overwhelmed by the large number of his opponents, and thus it gave birth to his legend. Afterwards, his soul wandered in search of 6 Saiyans with a righteous heart, looking for a new savior, the Super Saiyan God. So in essence, this Yamoshi guy is the indeed guy that was the myth, the legend, the Super Saiyan, the very first one that Frieza was scared of, that Vegeta talked about. This guy Yamoshi is it, and he was apparently like a really righteous dude, and he, you know, made it seems as though he sounds similar to, in a way, like a radical version of like Goku from the past or something like that, right? Like, he was actually not a bad person, he was a pretty good person. So really interesting stuff there with this Yamoshi guy, and just hearing that, honestly, imagine an OVA of the same quality as Bardock, the father of Goku, for Yamoshi. Bro, that's insane. But there's more to read, but I'm just kind of curious. So he went Super Saiyan, he was overwhelmed, and then he was just kind of like a wandering spirit. That kind of makes me think, what if the Super Saiyan God, maybe it could be some of the God Ki, maybe it could be at the time, maybe Yamoshi, when Goku becomes the, you know, the actual Super Saiyan God, maybe Yamoshi entered Goku or some shit like that, or maybe that's when his search was finally over. That would be insane. Like, just thinking of an OVA where that's the end point right there, I would fucking love that shit. But let's keep reading. But this is interesting. Even if Toriyama came up with it on the fly, this is official. Toribot pointing at the box, and the Super Saiyan God that Beerus was looking for was... Beerus reacted to Yamoshi's spirit and caught the information in his dream about the prophecy, I guess. Furthermore, this legend was mentioned in the Namekian Book of Legends because the Elder Namekian responded to Yamoshi's soul at the time. Which, by the way, according to Herms from Twitter, Yamoshi is kind of a pun on this noodle, this really skinny noodle, because the Super Saiyan God transformation, when you look at it, you know, they look really skinny and shit like that. So it's a play on these noodles that are like really, really thin. Toriyama knows his vegetables and noodles and shit like that, right? You know what I'm saying? So interesting stuff there. So for starters, the legendary Super Saiyan of, you know, the past, the one that Frieza was terrified of, the one that Vegeta talked of legend, is the same person that was the Super Saiyan God. That is insane. And basically what happened is Beerus was dreaming. He caught a whiff of Yamoshi's like spirit. So it was never actually Goku that Beerus was dreaming of. That, I ain't gonna lie, that kind of blows my mind. That really blows my mind, that this entire time I was like, oh, shut up, you know, it was Goku he thought of, end of story. Everybody said that same thing, right? Like, every time somebody showed up in Dragon Ball Super, like, for example, when Goku Black showed up, people were like, well, maybe Beerus was thinking of him. It wasn't anybody. It was Yamoshi, the original Super Saiyan that was also a part of this Super Saiyan God thing. This is awesome. I really hope that in the future, if they take anything from a little Toriyama interview and make something of it, make something about Yamoshi. Or hell, have Toriyama come back, and even if it's a one-shot, which Toriyama don't really do much nowadays, but like, he could sit at home for the next couple years and slowly draw a one-shot about this Yamoshi dude. Draw it. Let's get, like, I would even be fine with, honestly, I would legit be totally okay. Take 1 week off of Dragon Ball Super, maybe right after the end of the Tournament of Power, and dive into the backstory of Yamoshi. Just talking about that gets me excited, because, like, that's really interesting shit. Like, I love that, like, he was a rebel, him and his peoples, he went Super Saiyan, then he got overwhelmed, then he was just wandering around like a spirit, like, that's pretty freaking crazy. And then the fact that he kind of just wandered into Beerus' mind in a way, or Beerus kind of caught wind of him. And then there's even a connection to the Namekians. Like, this dude Yamoshi, really interesting stuff, and really cool stuff from Toriyama. Again, you gotta kind of take it with, not necessarily a grain of salt, because, hey, he's the creator. He's the man behind everything. Like, despite what some people may think, Dragon Ball Super essentially is initially penned by Toriyama. And I've said this in many videos, but there's some people that don't watch all my videos. So, you know, he writes point A, B, C, D, E, F, G, etc., etc. This is happening here. This is happening here. So he's still heavily involved in the production of the story, right? Like, you know, he gives them the outline of where to go with it. So you never know. For all you know, this could be a precursor to a future arc where we're diving more into the Super Saiyan God and the original Super Saiyan, and we could actually get Yamoshi. Like, I want to see more of who the fuck Yamoshi is. This dude is exciting as hell. Like, again, we know his story. We know that he's a Super Saiyan that eventually got overwhelmed, and he kind of traveled around looking for a successor to the Super Saiyan God, and it seemed to be Goku. So really exciting stuff. I'm kind of curious what you guys think about this, though. For starters, do you think that in any shape or form Toriyama had this planned out at all within the past couple of years? Because there was no way, it's impossible, because there's no way that he had the Super Saiyan God transformation in his head in the fucking 90s, you know what I'm saying? But do you think maybe this was actually a pre-planned thing that he had in his head before he went into this interview, or before he answered this question, or he just kind of came up with it on the fly? Also, would you be hype or fine or okay with taking 1 week off of the Dragon Ball Super anime to get an OVA/TV special on Yamoshi, his journey, his struggles? Like, I would be excited as hell for that. Would you be excited, though? Also, what do you think about finding out that this entire time, when we thought that Beerus was dreaming about Goku, it was actually nothing to do with Goku. It was more so Yamoshi's spirit, and also his connection with the Namekians. Like, I want to see this. I want to freaking see this. Give me some Yamoshi. Hang overall thoughts of all this. Honestly, really cool stuff. We got some knowledge from Toriyama in the past couple days, so we'll be getting a couple extra videos talking about other stuff. But yeah, that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and do a little stalking on my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy. Bow. Have an awesome day.